What is going on here? Is there a boss bee epiphany that is happening in our society and culture? Is there hope for our society and culture with regard to women who refer to themselves as boss bees? You know, the strong and independent women. You know, apparently there is a transition from that some boss babes are transitioning back to a more feminine traditional role. Isn't that interesting? Welcome back to Resilient Man channel. That's what we're going to discuss today. The boss bitch epiphany that some of them are having and how they're realizing that role didn't quite work out the way they planned. Like and subscribe to the channel, guys. Comment your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. Have you heard of the soft girl movement? The movement of a lot of women, or some women in our society, who they have actually rejected the feminist party line and have come to see that the feminist ideology has failed women and has been a detriment to women, has actually harmed them. You know, the soft girl movement, these women who want to be traditional women, they want to be wives. They want to be mothers. They want a man to protect and to provide so they can relax in their full feminine traditional role, you know. So it's an interesting thing. I mean, if you're being honest, I think a lot of these boss babes, the ones who refer to themselves as a boss beeyotch, a lot of them are miserable. They're lonely. They're unhappy. Yeah, they might have achieved a lot as far as professionally and such, but on a personal front, and especially from a personal legacy, versus what a woman gets from being a wife, from being a mother, and creating that family legacy with her husband. I think a lot of boss babes are, you know, realizing it wasn't all it was cracked up to be. And it's really interesting. You know, I had a conversation recently with a woman I know, and she was sharing with me her mother's story, specifically with her father. Her parents were married for 40, 50 years, long time. Very traditional in that the father met and courted her mother and proposed marriage and literally told her, apparently she had a full-time job. I can't remember what it was, but her mother had a full-time job, and her father said, I do not want you to work. I want you to be a wife. I want you to be a mother. We're going to have a family. We're going to travel. We're going to do all these different experiences, and we're going to build a life together and create a family legacy. And she shared with me this story. Her mother is now 86. And her father has passed on, I believe, about 5 or 6 years ago. And her mother, misses her husband. And, you know, in talking with her, her mother cherished the time with her husband and cherished the marriage, cherished the family that they produced, the children and eventually grandchildren, the legacy. The family legacy. And it was just such a stark difference to the boss babe in what these women are pursuing. And this woman, you know, again, her husband said, I am the husband, I am the leader, I am going to provide, I'm going to protect, I want you to be in your full feminine role as a wife and as a mother. And that is exactly the way it played out. And he in talking to my woman friend who speaks very highly of her father and how wonderful a man he was as a man and as a husband and as a father, and how he loved and cherished her mother, totally provided for her and the family, protected them, and was the male, masculine leader. And, granted, I know some of you watching this message, well, that's not how it always plays out, and that's a very outdated, traditional way of marriage and such. Maybe so. Maybe you are right in that sense, but why is it? Why is that outdated? Why is that seen as evil by women who describe themselves as boss babes? Why is it seen as not the proper standard of how a marriage in a relationship should be? With the male in the leadership role, the male is in his full masculine role. The woman is in her feminine role, and both are beautiful. Both are necessary. Both are equal, quite frankly. There are things that the man must do and needs to do that only he can do as a man, as a provider, and as a protector. That's his role. There are things that only the woman can do as a wife and as a mother, and nurturing and bringing up the family, the children, and that type of thing. And that is a beautiful matriarchal role. Why is this a bad thing? Why is it that stories like what I just shared with you of this woman who she met what would become her husband? They courted, he proposed, he said, "This is what I want you to be in a wife and a motherly role. I will be in the leadership role." And she completely embraced that. And they had a wonderful life together. Why should that not be the standard? And why did this become so bad, quote unquote, or evil, quote unquote, to these boss babes, to these independent women, or women who have chosen to go it independently? Why do they reject being a wife and a mother and being a part of that beautiful family role and legacy versus giving their life to a man many times in the corporate world, only to be eventually discarded by that company in the long run and have nothing to show for it? No husband, no family, and they chose this boss babe role, but now are seeing that, this was not, it was all cracked up to be, and it didn't pay. The rewards that it paid, quote unquote, were nothing equal to what a woman gets from being a wife and from being a mother and actually creating that beautiful legacy. So, when you think about it too, a lot of the argument with a lot of these boss babes, these strong and independent women, is they don't want to stay home. They don't want to be a housewife. They don't want to take care of the home. They don't want to take care of the children. They'd rather go out into the world and tough it out like a man. And it's truly baffling when you think about it, because if you think about the different roles here, let's take this role. A man, he has a job, and he has to get up every morning, get ready for work. He's got to get out the door. He's got to get to his job, and he's got to be on time. If he's not on time, he's going to hear it from his boss and potentially be reprimanded for that. He's got to go through his job all day long. The stress, the strain, he must produce, he must show his value all day long to the boss, and if he doesn't, then he's going to be in trouble. And he has to keep up that role all day long, okay? Working 8 hours, he's stuck at his job. He must do that. There is no getting out of it. Most of the time he's working long hours and overtime. Many times he's dealing with a boss who can be, abusive verbally and emotionally and things like that. But he knows he must do his job and put up with this for his wife and for his family. And there is no getting out of that for the man. That's what he must do. He really doesn't have another option. And why does he do that? He does this. He works hard. He makes these sacrifices. A man puts up with these, what a lot of women would see as intolerable, because he loves his wife, he loves his family, and he wants to provide, he wants to protect, he wants to lead his home as that. Now, let's look at the opposite piece of this, okay? The stay-at-home wife, the mother. She gets up every morning as well. She's got to feed the children, and let's say if they're not of school age, she gets them fed and takes care of them to do whatever she needs to do for the morning. Or if they are school age children, she gets them fed, gets them off to school, and then she's back home. When she's back home, let's say part of her role as a stay-at-home wife and mother is keeping the house clean, taking care of the home, managing the home, that type of thing. Maybe she's vacuuming, okay? How long does that take? Hour, if that? Does the dishes. Well, you got this beautiful machine. You just simply put the dishes in the machine, press a button, and it washes them for you. She's got to do the laundry. Well, another machine, you put them in the washing machine, press start, it washes them. When they're done, put them in the dryer, press start. In the meantime, what is she doing in between? Maybe she's watching one of her favorite TV shows. Maybe she's reading a book. Maybe she's on the phone with a friend, whatever the case might be. She goes through and, let's just say, keeping the house straight, keeping it clean, takes the morning. So let's just say by lunchtime, she's pretty much done with her role. In the meantime, the man, her husband, is still at work. He's still under the stress and strain and working his tail off under the watchful eye of his boss. And he can't go anywhere. He must work that 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours. And then he finally gets to come home later. So, and the wife, she's finished by lunchtime. Maybe later that afternoon, she gets the kids from school, comes home, prepares dinner, he comes home. That's her role. So when I lay it out like that, when you lay out the two roles of the man is going off to work and he is pretty much stuck at his job all day. He is stuck all day. And under that stress and strain, the wife is at home. Yeah, there are things to be done and there's work to be done, but it's not nearly as stressful. It doesn't nearly take up as much time. And she has a lot of free time where she can, shall we say, piddle and do the other things that she would like to do. Which one is a better situation? And under that, why would you choose to be a boss babe? Some corporate executive and such. Now, if that's your choice as a woman, fair enough, more power to you, your choice, your life. But it doesn't make sense when you lay it out as I just laid it out, and these boss babes denigrate and look down on women who want to be a traditional wife and a mother. And when you look at the two roles, who's actually got it better? The traditional role, the wife and the mother. You know, it's interesting too, because with the traditional role, men actually take pride in that leadership. We actually take pride in the fact that, I am providing the majority of our income, or even all the income. Because of what I do as a man, as a husband, I go out into the world and I work hard, and my wife is able to stay home, be a wife, be a mother, manage our home, and not have the stress and strain that I do as a man. It just is baffling why these boss babes would not want that role as well. But apparently there is some of these boss babes are actually having that epiphany that this boss babe role is not all it's cracked up to be, and maybe they should make a transition and make a U-turn in their life to actually take on a traditional feminine role. And it's just really good to see that there are women out there who want to take on that traditional role. They want to be a wife. They want to be a mother. They want to serve their husbands. They want to serve their families. They want to create that family legacy and excel in that beautiful matriarchal role. So, guys, stay resilient, man. Stay resilient out there. It still is, like trying to find a needle in a needle stack to find one of these women. But maybe there's hope. Maybe there's hope, because there are a number of women who are rejecting the boss babe ideology, and they want to be traditional wives and mothers and such. The funny thing is too, a lot of feminists are pissed about these women and are about the soft girl movement. But hey, as the feminists say, a woman's choice is not to be questioned, correct? So these women have every right to choose a traditional role versus the boss babe, the feminist role, and they should be respected, and that should be respected, and it should be honored just like any other choice that a woman's make. So anyways, guys, seriously though, man, if you have a woman who she has embraced her beautiful feminine role, and she wants that, to be a good wife, to be a mother, to embrace her full femininity, and to excel that to the betterment of your relationship and or your marriage, celebrate that. But I got to tell you, you need to step up as a man. You need to step up in your traditional male role as a provider, as a protector, because you know what? If you are fortunate enough to have a feminine woman like that, she deserves to be able to trust you in your male leadership. She deserves to know that you have the helm and you are going to provide and protect, and you are going to lead and not drop the ball, so as to speak. So, guys, those are my thoughts. I thought it was interesting, the boss babe epiphany that's going on out there and the soft girl movement. Let me know what your thoughts are. Have you met some of these women? I know you've met the boss babes, but have you met the soft girls? Are you seeing that more and more? Comment your thoughts. So, check out the other Resilient Man content here, specifically topics for men and the challenges that we face in our society and culture. Like and subscribe. Guys, focus on you, on being the best version of yourself, especially as a man, as a father, as a husband, and know your worth. Protect your peace.